Hey everybody, Firebox here, and I'm really excited to share with you the early access wipe number 1. And guess what, boys? Cleric is back. Let's get into the notes. Patch is going to start here at 2 o'clock EST, and will be done around 4 p.m. EST, approximately 2.5 hours. Character levels, wipe, gold, and skills are going to be reset, and they do plan to do these more frequently in the future for early access for balancing changes. We also have the return of VoIP, so I know a lot of people are going to be excited about that one too. Let's get started with the notes themselves. Attribute bonus ratio returned to 100%. This is the big thing that nerfed Cleric into the ground all the way down to the worst solo class in the game. 50% was crazy. We had no heals, we had no damage. It's back. I think this makes Solo Cleric at least playable again. It might not be the best class in the game, but it's going to be playable. And really was leading towards Warlock here, but with this change, might just be enough for me to go back to Cleric instead. All attribute random modifiers can now go to +3. Interesting change. This is going to make the endgame gear scaling a little bit stronger. I'm curious as to their reasoning for this and how this is going to affect the meta as far as that goes, because your stats could probably go really high once you reach the end game. All potions now heal for 15 HP, the required duration for the potion decreasing as the grade improves, with the improved ratio going from 0.5 to 0.65, meaning that health potions are going to heal for a little bit less, but they're going to be able to recover at a increased rate. They're still going to be modifying potions. I don't have a whole lot of comment on this. It's still going to be slower than it used to be, but it's going to be a little bit faster than last patch, but a little bit less total HP combined. Kind of curious how this is going to go. Bandages are now going to have a base time of 5.5 seconds to apply, but healing varies on amount. This 100% is what it should be. I'm a little curious what the numbers are going to look like for bandages, but yeah. Higher grade bandages should heal for more HP. That's kind of the vibe I get for potions too. I'm a little curious as to why every potion will heal for the same, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see once the patch goes live. The regular interaction speed bonus is applied at only 50% bonus when using a surgical kit or a bandage. This sounds like a nerf. If we were at 100% bonus, we're now at 50. So it's going to take maybe not twice as long, but it is going to take longer to use those items. I assume this is a further change Iron Mace is making to try to make the recovery time between fights a little bit longer, so you can't just pop a surgical kit and keep going towards the next fight. Francisca Axe price reduced from 24 to 18, and hunting traps increased from 7 to 10. Francisca Axe prices reduced, I think, is perfectly fine. The price change for axes will just let people use them a little bit more, and the hunting trap price increase will just make it a little bit harder for early game rangers to spam them a lot in the dungeons. Bard Accelerando has gone from 5.811 to 5.79, so that's a big nerf. Allegro has gone from 3.57 to 3.4.56, another nerf. Shriek of Weakness is getting nerfed. Zap is going from 1 second to 1.25 seconds. I am assuming this is cast time, so Zap is getting a slight nerf. Quarterstaff is getting buffed, finally. The quarterstaff, the old days, I think was minus 10 movement speed, and it was a monster. And then it went to 35, and it's just been too slow. I'm curious to see if people start using the quarterstaff more with that small speed buff. Zweihander is also getting a small buff to minus 45. Not sure if this is going to be enough for people to use the weapon, because it still is a little bit clunky as far as the moveset goes, but still I think buffing underused weapons is a good change. High roller entry fee will now be kept at 50 gold for now. This is great. I hope it stays this way to keep the high roller maps populated. The gold hoard has been removed from the ruins map. I'm really glad for this. It was just being abused, and infinite piles of money were being printed for people pretty much to just sell gold. I mean, that's really what it was. It's a shame that we couldn't have this in the game legitimately, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. I think this is a good change. I'll go ahead and read the comment at the bottom from the developers themselves. We have decided to revert the spell attribute ratio back to 100%, after realizing that a universal nerf to all spells in this manner was too broad a change and made it difficult to easily gauge the effectiveness of bonus items with magic stats. We have reverted the change and will attempt to use a more surgical approach to spell balancing in the future. As you can see, this update, we have started with a slight debuff to Wizard Zap spell to try testing this approach. We will continue making changes to more spells in the upcoming weeks in a similar manner. We have also decided to try a new approach to the healing items, which we hope makes it a little more palatable for solo and newer players, while still reducing the need to bring in an excessive amount of consumables. Bandages will still only apply to recoverable health, however, we hope that they will have more application with the increased recovery, and I think that is true. Potions have been updated so they heal for a set 15 and the duration is now variable. This is the big thing I'm curious about and how this is going to go with fights. Finally, we have started some general balance changes to Bard and some weapon changes. Yep, Bard was very strong. This pretty much confirms that I'm not going to play Bard anymore in solos if they're going to keep nerfing him. It just isn't. It's not worth the downtime playing songs specifically for solo play, but I'm sure it's still very strong in teams. We understand that we may have gone a little overboard with the nerf hammer, and we'll try looking into things to make underused items a little more viable. This would be fantastic. I think this is the best way to go. We started with some of the unpopular weapons, and we'll continue on this patch for the foreseeable future. Thank you, Iron Mace. This lets me play Cleric again in solos. It was completely unplayable for a couple days. Looks like we're back. I'm going to be streaming here today within the next, couple hours, as soon as the patch is live, pretty much. Really leaning towards Cleric now. I was dead set on playing Warlock, but I don't know if I can resist just playing Cleric now that we are back to what we were before. Thanks all for watching. If you want to see more content like this, sub to the channel, like the video, I'd appreciate it. And comment below just any thoughts that you have on these spell patch changes. Thank you all. Have a good one.